So if you notice, every time that SAS is booted up, there is some main SAS windows by default that show up. For example, you have the log window, your editor window, output window, and then you also have the Explorer window and the results window. Good features to know about each window is that you can go ahead and minimize and restore them at any time that you like during the session. You can go ahead and restore them and go ahead and tap through each one of them. However, unfortunately, the Explorer and Results window are actually docked, which means you can resize it to make a little bit more space, but you cannot minimize them. You can undock them by just going to Windows, left-clicking on Dock. So you can move it out of here. You can go ahead and delete that, or you can go ahead and undock the Results tab as well. And if you want to just get them back, all you got to do is go back to View, left click on Results, View, and then I usually like getting the contents only of the SAS environment. And each window does have a pop-up menu, so all you want to do is just to activate a specific window, just left click inside of it, right click, and as you can see, it'll show you its pop-up drop down menu. Same thing with the editor window, just right click, and the output, right click. Alright, so in SAS we do have a toolbar, so all of these icons would belong to the toolbar. Then we have a menu bar up here, and on the menu bar there's actually pull down menus. So you have the file, if you left click, edit tab, view, tools, solutions, window, and help, and these are all referred to as the pull down menus. And then at the bottom we have the SAS window bar, which contains all of our windows: output, editor, and log window. Now let's just go ahead and take an example. Let's just say your menu bar was not here. You can actually go ahead and type in the command. You can type in commands like in the command line in SAS. All you have to do is just type in pmenus, just go ahead and enter, and as you can see, a command line would show up, and then your SAS menu bar would appear. Now if you're wondering if there's any keyboard shortcuts that you can use through SAS, there actually is. So all we want to do is just go to our tools drop down menu, go to options, go ahead and left click on keys, and as you can see here, all the commands and the keys with its definition or whatever argument belongs to it. So as you can see, let's go ahead and just try one out. F3 for me would be to submit and run one of my programs, so I'll go ahead and try that out. I'll highlight, go ahead and tap F3. As you can see, it runs the program for me. Now if there's any questions that you need help on while you're using SAS, there's actually a help drop down menu. As you can see, let's go ahead and activate the log window. We'll go to the help tab. Let's go ahead and left click on using this window. It's actually going to pull up a SAS help and documentation dialog box, and any question that you have regarding that specific window you can find in this section, where there may be the log window. Let's just say you want to go ahead and if we have questions on our editor window, left click inside to activate the window, go using this window, and now as you can see, using the SAS help and documentation pulled up the enhanced editor help menu. And you can go ahead and click on each link, which explains to you how to open files, whether it may be using the command line or just specific syntax that you might have questions on. So let's go ahead and try to navigate through the Explorer window really quickly. As you can see, it shows pretty much the contents of the SAS environment, as stated here. And you can find your SAS data library folder or directory. And then here you can find your active libraries. Let's just go ahead and let's try to open one up. Let's just say we want to copy a data file. So let's go ahead and copy this. Now one thing that you want to note is that you can't paste in the contents of the SAS environment, nor can you paste the data file in your active libraries Explorer window. The only way you can paste data files is inside a library, so that's also one good thing that you should know. Now if you'd like to create a new library also, let's go ahead and pull up our pop-up window by right clicking. As you can see, we left click on new. We can create a new library. Just type in the name. Default, you want to go ahead and create a path, usually on the C drive if you have a SAS folder, and we'll get into that later on, but this is just to show you an example while navigating through the Explorer window. Now there are two different types of code editing windows. We have the enhanced editor window, and we also have the program editor window. The enhanced editor window is usually the window that pops up by default when you boot up SAS. So properties of the enhanced editor is you can open SAS programs in many different ways, including you can drag and drop. So let's go ahead and open up another editor window. We'll go to View, Enhanced Editor. As you can see, I opened up another editor window. Let's just say I want to drag the first syntax line. As you can see, I can just go ahead, highlight, left click, and drag, and move it over to different editor windows. Also in the enhanced editor, some of the enhanced editor features, you can clear content, you can save SAS programs. What I like most about the enhanced editor window is that there's color coding and syntax checking. So if there's anything wrong, it'll pop up with the red syntax. Each keyword from SAS is highlighted in blue, so it's color coding. They're expandable, so as you can see, let's just say I want to make room for more syntax. I'll just go ahead and minimize, and then if I want to just expand it, I can go ahead and click on the plus sign. Or if I just want to collapse each line, each section of syntax, I can. So in the enhanced editor window, let's just say we submit the program. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight. F3 is my shortcut. And okay, my syntax was submitted, I get my results, and so on. So if you go back to the editor window, you can take a look. Every time you submit it, your syntax is not deleted. It isn't deleted. It's still there. So in this case, I'm just going to go ahead and copy to save it. So what you have to do in order to clear it out, you just want to go to Edit, Clear All. As you can see now, your editor window is clear. So now let's go ahead and take a look at actually the other code editing window, which is the program editor window. And just to pull that up, you can go ahead and go to View, and then Program Editor. And here we have a program editor window. Now, similar properties of the program editor window, such as the enhanced editor window, is that you can enter, edit, and submit SAS programs. But there are quite a few differences. I mean, first I'll go ahead and tell you what are the properties and the features of the program editor window. So you can go ahead and open SAS programs in many ways as well. You can drag and drop, as we did with the other editing window. You can enter, edit, submit SAS programs. You can use the command lines. You can save SAS programs. You can also clear the content and recalling submitted statements. Let me go ahead and show you what I mean by recalling submitted statements. So let's just say I want to close this window out. I'll exit out of it. It's going to ask me if I want to save. I'll go ahead and left click on no. Let me go ahead and open up the program editor once more. As you can see, the syntax is still there. So that's what it means by recalling a submitted statement. But there are some differences in the program editor. There isn't syntax checking, and then also if you notice, there isn't expandable and collapsible sections, and you cannot record macros in the program editor either. And once again, just to clear out your syntax or your content, go to Edit, Clear All, and now it's gone. You can go ahead and close out the window. Now let's go ahead and take a look at our log window really quickly. The log window pretty much just displays messages about our SAS session, whether it may be when we submitted our data. It's going to tell us how many observations. So we take a look here. In the syntax that I ran, there was 1,440 observations. However, I programmed it where I only wanted the actual amount of money over $950 and only in quarter one. So as you can see, it broke it down, it ran the syntax properly, and now our new data set, there were only 21 observations. So that's pretty much what the log window does. It gives you information about your SAS session or your syntax in the program that you're actually running. Now let's go ahead and take a look at our output window. As you can see, I don't have my output window open in my SAS window bar down here. So let's go ahead and open that up. We want to go to View, Output. And as you can see, I have all of my information, my output that I came out. And this output is actually referred to as listing output. It's not an HTML format. And if you're still a bit confused as to what would be the HTML format, let me go ahead and paste my syntax. Let's go ahead and run this really quickly once more. Give it a second to load. And as you can see in the results viewer, the SAS input is actually an HTML format. And just so you can see the difference, we have our output. So we have the same 21 observations, but this is just a listing output, and we have it here in HTML format. So something that you want to make note of is that all SAS programs create the output in the output window. So it's always going to have the output. Well, actually, you have to turn on the listing output, but it's always going to create the output for you. And to make sure that your results do come out of HTML format and listing output, all you have to do is just go to your Tools drop-down menu, drop down to Options, go ahead and left-click on Preferences. Then we want to go ahead and select the Results tab, and then you want to make sure that the listing, Create Listing, and HTML boxes are actually checked off. And then lastly, let's go ahead and go over our results window. The result window helps us navigate and manage output from SAS programs that we've submitted. We can view them, save, print individual items of output. The results window uses a tree structure to list various types of output that we have already available for us after we ran a specific SAS program. And then on most operating systems, the results window is positioned behind the Explorer window and is empty until we actually submit a SAS program and creates output. So as you can see, I submitted this many programs, and we can go ahead and collapse or expand them. But note also that every time you open up a results folder, let's go ahead and expand it, it gives you the option to see your results in either the listing output or HTML output. So since we had both of the options checked off, it will give us the option to view it in whichever we'd like. Let's just go double click. There we go. So we have the HTML, and then we have the listing output. And that's pretty much all for this section here. So all we wanted to do was just interact with our windows available to us, and I would suggest going through each one of these drop-down menus and just see what they have to offer. And we're going to be on to the next video.